Today I'm breaking down this Naruto sketch step by step and showing how I approach cross arm poses, torso structure, and silhouette readability. The main goal in this drawing was making the pose feel balanced while keeping the character recognizable immediately. Um, One thing I will say is that this was actually a full. The reference I was using was a full body reference. It wouldn't really matter because it'd still be, whoever was drawing this, which is, an actual official artist of Naruto. They understood what they were doing and they understand how Naruto appears and how they need to make him appear. So I was using a reference where it was a full body pose. He's crossing his arms and he has a very upright posture to the point where it's even leaning back a little bit. His legs were a little bit spread as well. It's kind of like, like an iconic anime pose for him. If you know his personality, you know the show, and you know you'll see in anime, you'll see a character standing. Not that this is what he's doing, but you'll see someone standing at the edge of a mountain and staring off into the distance. And what do they call it? Aura farming at this point. That's like the phrase that they call it. Um, it's what happens is, like, in the past when these shows had came out and we're all younger watching this stuff, we look at it and be like, "Oh, that's so cool," or "Oh, that character's like cool, calm, and collected," or like whatever we say. But nowadays they call it aura farming. Is that literally the shift that actually happened? I don't know, but that's the kind of the. I'm just joking about the pose he was doing. Um. Okay. Making sure I get back to the place I was at before I segue into explaining blah blah blah. Just there. The main goal in this drawing. Okay. I always start with the head first because it controls the direction and energy of the pose. I like to start with the air, specifically with one of the airs, and then build out the rest of the face from there. From the jaw or like the head above the ear and the hair, and slowly build it across, and then go into like more of the hair and then the neck and shoulders but sometimes I even dribble out into further areas higher or lower in the sketch, but I always start from the air. Other people don't have to do that and they can actually start wherever they want, but I found that that's a pattern that I can safely get it what I want to do correct, especially because I'm doing it in pen. So like I'm doing things in pen can for sure has probably caused me to do specific things. With me being aware, I only have one chance to do it correctly, so that I can draw these in pen and not make the minimal amount of mistakes at all. And if I make any, I can easily cover them up if that even happens anymore. Just getting better, and I'm getting better at doing things in the first try. But there's things I'm doing to safely build the sketch out, and maybe you'll have things that you find are safer for you to practice in a way that helps you develop your accuracy or get things accurate the first time. And it's not that you need to use that as a crutch, but it helps. You're doing a practice that helps you improve, and it's gonna make you improve faster because it's something that's benefiting you. So it's actually good that if you find things like that and you decide to implement them because you see that it helps you, even if it's a routine thing. If it's helping, that's good. I always start with the head first because it controls the direction and energy of the pose. I sketch a light skull shape and then add the jaw and face angle underneath. For this drawing, I tilted the head slightly to keep Naruto from being too stiff. Next, I place a center line and eye line to keep the facial proportions controlled. Naruto's face design is simple, so placement matters a lot. I keep the eyes clean and make sure the whisker marks follow the curve of the face naturally. Oh, excuse me. And I was using a reference, obviously, but I just want to make sure that they're placed correctly. As I'm drawing each one, I'm looking up at the references, thinking to myself, like, and not really even thinking, but I'm watching, like, all right, when I draw this next whisker below the one I just drew, I'm eyeballing to try and figure out like how exactly low where I'm gonna place that next one that's lower, because it's in pen, so you gotta get it correct the first time. Or I gotta get it as relevant as possible the first time if I'm trying to get this to look relevant, right? Um Naruto's fate, okay. After the face is established, I move into the torso construction. I use long center guidelines to keep the body balanced throughout the sketch. The cross arm pose is built using larger shapes first because it's easier to adjust proportions before adding details. This helps keep anatomy readable and prevents the arms from becoming confusing visually. All right. I I could have done a little bit of a better job overall with this, and especially with the hand that you can see right there, the fingers you can see. Something about like maybe I could have done something with the structure, but it came out the way it did, and I can just be aware that maybe there's something I want to have done better and pay attention to that next time I draw a hand, right, or a hand in that position, if that even happens anytime soon. Once the structure is working, I start refining the jacket and clothing lines. Okay, one sec. All right. I focus on larger folds first so the outfit keeps a clean silhouette. Smaller details are added afterwards to help the clothing feel more natural. I also did the outline for where the shading would have went. I didn't even do shading, but I did some scribbles where the shading would have been. That's not hasn't taken place in this video yet, but that's what's gonna happen from what I remember. Could have been another photo, but I cannot remember. I'm guessing that's what I did though. So smaller details are added afterwards to help the clothing feel more natural. At this stage, I reinforce the important contour lines around the head, shoulders, and arms. Then I clean up extra construction marks and sharpen the silhouette so the sketch reads clearly even from far away. Oh. And yeah, like I say in usual, like I say as usual, um, drawing everything lighter and then darkening, especially the outer lines, and then darkening anything else that has to be darkened afterwards. After I have something that I want to darken and that's already correct and it's in a lighter line, obviously, because this is in pen. So, but even in pencil, if you're literally just trying to erase less, you can use the same thing. If you have an eraser, none of this has to apply, but you also do want to try and work on getting things as accurate as possible, right? And accuracy can mean doing it correctly the first time, and or attempting to, and even if it doesn't come out that way, at least you tried, and you're building like the skill of actually doing better at doing something the first time. So it's worth the try, you know. The biggest thing with anime sketches like this is making sure the larger shapes and pose work before focusing on tiny details, or making sure you handle those before focusing on the tiny details. Once the structure feels balanced, the cleanup process becomes much easier.